Yes, Jen.
Switching topics, I want to ask you about Keystone. I saw your statement earlier praising construction on this portion of the pipeline, and I'm wondering why the White House is so supportive of a pipeline that goes from Oklahoma to the Gulf of Mexico, when if the argument has been that this would feed new oil into the U.S. and lower gas prices, when this portion of the pipeline, all it would do is ship excess oil out of the U.S.
Well, I make a couple of points. One, it's a global oil market. Two, we made clear back in January in the President's statement that Cushing, the pipeline from Cushing to the Gulf could potentially be important precisely because there are bottlenecks in Cushing right now that prevent what is essentially a glut of domestically produced oil from getting to market, getting to refineries and getting to market. That glut exists in part because of the increase in oil production domestically in this country over the last 8 years. We are at an 8-year high, as you know. And it highlights a little-known fact. Certainly you wouldn't hear it from some of our critics, that we approve, pipelines are approved and built in this country all the time. And this one is important because of the reasons I just mentioned, the bottleneck that exists, the glut of oil that exists, and we need to get that oil to the state-of-the-art refineries in the Gulf and get it to market. That's an important process, and we'll make sure that any federal permitting that is involved in the Cushing pipeline will be acted on very quickly.
Will there be an environmental review at this leg?
Everything will be done by the book and by the as it always is. Again, it's important because a lot of these issues get confused in the political debate. The reason why Keystone XL required the review that it did is because that pipeline crossed an international boundary, and the State Department, by tradition and rule, reviews those requests for permits, and was in the process of doing just that when the Republicans forced us to deny it, because they tried to compel the administration to grant a permit to a pipeline, the route for which didn't even exist, which was obviously not the right thing to do. And as I think the statement also went on to say that TransCanada indicated that it would had plans to anyway to resubmit a new proposal, a new pipeline route, and that will certainly be reviewed by the book without prejudice, because the decision the President made earlier had nothing to do with the merits of a pipeline proposal. It was simply that because of the decision by Republicans to play politics with this, forced the administration to deny the permit request because there wasn't even a pipeline route identified. Mara, and then